Welcome back to the Stephan Show. My name is Graham and welcome to my show, and today we're getting in the YouTube time machine, going back in time all the way to the date, December 18th, 2018, because guess what? There was a video posted on this date that I have not seen yet, that I have not reacted to yet, that's hidden. It's buried in the chambers of YouTube just for us to go and uncover and see today, and that is titled, Living on $100,000 a Year in Boston. Wait for it. Millennial money. And I think this means at this point there are only maybe like one or two other millennial monies that I have yet to see and react to. And we know this is going to be a really good episode because this is the OG millennial money, like millennial money before it was, wait for it, Millennial Money. And for anyone who's not aware, Millennial Money is basically a series by CNBC Make It, where they go and they follow the finances and spending habits of millennials, and then they see how they do, and then what happens is that they spend too much money, and then I get upset, and then I yell at them, and then you guys like watching me yell at people on YouTube, and it just becomes this vicious cycle of people messing up, and me yelling, and then they mess up again. So anyway, let's give this episode a shot, living on $100,000 a year in Boston. Wait for it, Millennial Money.
In a lot of ways, I feel like I'm good with money, but I'm playing life on easy mode. I'm like a single guy with like no dependents, and I make like a pretty solid income.
You know, I like the fact that he is so humble about all of it, that he's single, that he doesn't have any dependents, and he happens to make good money, and he knows martial arts. You know, that is living life on easy mode, you know?
My name is Trevor Clee. I'm 25 years old. I make about $100,000 a year, and I live in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
You know, the way he says $100,000 seems to me like he's making like $96,000, $97,000, or an amount where it's just like, it keeps him up at night. Like, he can't fall asleep knowing that it's like, oh, it's not $100,000.
I really do love teaching. I never really loved school, but I love being on the other side of a classroom. Tutoring was a chance to do teaching for serious. I also have always been really good at taking tests, just sort of one of those like weird skills which turned out to be really monetizable.
It just goes to show you that no matter what skill you have, you can find a way to monetize it, no matter what it is. Like even if you're good at like making sand sculptures, you will find a way to monetize making sand sculptures. For him, it's being good at taking tests. I was always a horrible test taker. Like I hated it. I didn't see the point in tests. Like, so what if I don't know the information? Like, what is this gonna do for me? Like, to me, it never proved how much you know or what you could accomplish by like jotting down answers on tests. Like, to me, it just seemed completely irrelevant. But again, like I also am with him. I just don't like school at all.
Honestly, I love the lifestyle. I make a pretty good income. I have a very flexible schedule. And this might sound weird, but like I feel like I'm actually helping people. My monthly income ranges from like $3,000 or $4,000 all the way up to $14,000.
Wow, that is quite the range, from $3,000 to $14,000 a month. I'm wondering why the big blips. I'm wondering if it's around like test-taking season. Is that a season? Is there like a time where everyone takes a test? Well, I'm guessing like the SATs. I don't know.
So my big expenses are rent. I pay $825 a month, which is reasonable for Cambridge, but for anywhere else, I mean, like, I live in like a room in a house. For anywhere else, it'd be terrible. For Cambridge, it's good.
Okay, so let's see his budget here. Typical monthly spending, $2,775. Overall, that seems reasonable so far, but we got dining out, $250 a month. I will let that one slide. I think that's okay. Utilities, $195 a month on utilities. Seems a little bit on the high side to me. I mean, even my utilities are less than that, and I have to also deal with like gardening, landscaping, and stuff like that, and like, you know, keeping a heater on, because the insulation where I live right now really sucks, and in the winter, like, you gotta keep the heater on, otherwise, like, the outside air goes inside. And you wake up in the morning, you're just shivering if you don't keep the heater on. And my utilities aren't even that high. But then we got transportation, $130. That seems decent to me. Cell phone, $40 a month. That's really good. I pay $85 a month for my cell phone plan, so already he's saving money on that. How do you get a house cleaner for $30 a month? $1 a day for a house cleaner is miraculous. $20 a month for internet. I'm thinking at this point now he's probably splitting some of these costs with a few other people, which doesn't really make sense for the utilities because there's no way he's splitting that utility bill. But either way, Internet is great. $825 a month in rent. For his age and income, I think that is the perfect amount to spend. Then we got donations. $615 on donations. That is a decent chunk of money to be able to donate every month. And then we got groceries, $400 a month. So he's spending $650 a month on food. That does seem high. I mean, let's admit, but maybe he's eating like organic, gluten-free, like free-range, like just stuff from Erewhon. Like maybe he's eating that and not like me going to Ralph's and getting the discount items. So, you know, $400 a month seems high to me, but again, I've seen worse. And then we got health insurance, $270 a month. It's so expensive. I pay right now like $220 something a month for health insurance, and it covers nothing, unfortunately. It's so expensive. So yeah, so honestly, all of this to me seems completely reasonable, and I want to see how much he's saving and investing of this. I have a feeling a pretty decent amount.
People don't realize you can get more money a lot of times if you ask for it. There are other GMAT and GRE tutors who charge like a tenth of what I charge, or at the very least half of what I charge. And I get more business than they do. I just charged more, and now I make more money. They could do the same thing, but people don't.
You know, I gotta say that's so true, and he is so right on that. Sometimes you just have to ask. And the funny thing is, oddly enough, human psychology is that the more you charge for something, the higher its perceived value is. Like I could charge, for instance, $100 an hour for a consulting call. And most people would say, you know, that's a good deal. I'm sure it's good advice. But if I charged $1,000 an hour for the exact same call, people would, on the other hand, perceive it as being worth way more just because they think, wow, if it's $1,000 an hour for a call, it better be like really mind-blowing information. And because of that, they're actually going to be more likely to pay attention to that and be happy and satisfied with that purchase because in their mind, they give it more value. I did not understand this at all until I started doing it. So from his perspective, what he's doing is the right way to do it. And even just pricing yourself higher than everyone else, people are automatically going to assume, why is he charging more money? It must be better. I want that one instead. Again, makes no sense, but it works.
I don't really save up for goals. I just save. Like my default mode is saving, and I only spend money when I like think I need to spend money.
You know, I can't disagree with that philosophy. He seems like the type where he's not going and just like flaunting a whole bunch of money everywhere. It seems like he's not going out and like going to the club every night. So for someone like him, who's got a set amount of expenses, who really doesn't spend that much money to begin with and then just saves the difference, I would say that's a good saving strategy for certain people out there that could do it. I think the majority of people out there, though, should be keeping a budget and should save a set amount every single month. But for him, I actually agree with his strategy for his personality type, who's not going out spending money. This works.
I keep a minimum amount in my checking, which is $4,000, and everything after $4,000 I put into savings, specifically into Vanguard, money market, or investments.
Yes, you know, he is doing a lot right. I totally agree with that. Just put it in broad index funds. Vanguard is one of the best companies out there. That's what I use, and that's it. So what he's doing from this front, I can't find any fault in it. So far, it's actually a really good episode. He's doing a lot right.
I'm actually developing a personal finance app for Google Sheets. It's sort of a specific thing. It helps people get email receipts into a spreadsheet and then analyze them. Where have you been spending your money? Some cool graphs like where have you taken Ubers and Lyfts.
So basically, it seems like he was creating the Apple credit card features before the Apple credit card had those features. I think it's actually a pretty good app idea, and I really wanted to do something or create some sort of business in the personal finance space, some sort of product that people could use that would help them save more money, and I gotta say, that space is so competitive. I feel like everything that's good has already been thought of, has already been done.
I donate quite a bit to charity. I like spend money that I might have otherwise spent on going out or something like that, or just putting it in savings. So it's not like a significant amount of money for me. It doesn't like affect my quality of life at all, and yet I'm able to like actually alleviate a lot of suffering and make a lot of people's lives better with the amount that I spend.
Jeez, I mean, you know what? You can't help but like the guy. You know, it seems like the type of guy you could go and just hang out with on a weekend afternoon, just to chat a bit about test scores and stuff like this, saving money, go to Trader Joe's. All around, he's a smart guy with a good head on his shoulders.
People get surprised with how open I am about my finances, and people also get surprised when I ask them about their finances. Like, My girlfriend will get mad at me when I just like casually ask people what their rent is.
Wait a second, didn't he say he was single in the beginning of the episode? Didn't he?
I'm like a single guy with like no dependents. My girlfriend will get mad at me. Single guy, girlfriend.
Yeah, if I were the girlfriend, I'd be like, wait, what? Why are you calling yourself a single guy? Maybe he just means just not married? Maybe he should just say he's an unmarried guy, right? Is that how it works? I don't know. Like, I just wouldn't say I was a single guy if I was not single.
My girlfriend will get mad at me when I just like casually ask people what their rent is, which I don't think is a weird question, but she thinks it's a really weird question.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time, but that's like the inner real estate agent in me. Like, I really want to know, like, oh, beautiful home. How much you pay for it? When did you buy it? Oh, that's great. What other properties do you own? Oh, you're renting it. Let me guess how much your rent is. No joke, that's one of my favorite things is I like to guess how much people are spending on rent. Usually, I'm pretty good at it. So I'll start off by saying like, okay, like how many square feet is this? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? When did you rent it? Is it rent control? Something. And then I'm like, okay, you're paying $40, $100 a month. You're like, what? Oh my God, yeah, how did you know? I'm like, I'm good. Same thing too, if I try to guess what they paid for it, that's another good one, especially if they bought it like 10, 15 years ago and I gotta try to guess what the values were back then. It's a fun game. People love playing along with that game. You should try it sometime.
I could really not work for a company again. I'm actually a really terrible employee. I got fired from my first job, fired from my second, not asked to return for my third, not asked to return for my fourth. I always think I know better than other people. And sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. You know, sometimes I'm just being stubborn. But in the heat of the moment, I'm always really certain of myself. And when someone is literally, their title is my manager or my boss, and I'm really certain that I know more than them, it always turns out poorly.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I completely understand that. I would feel the same way. I have this thing about being told what to do. I don't know why. Maybe that started in like early childhood and I was told what to do too many times and I just completely rebelled against that. I just hate it. There's something about someone else being like, hey,
do this over here, do this at this time, finish at this.
I don't like doing that. I want to do like whatever I feel like doing, whatever that might be. And that's what makes me the happiest. Otherwise, I just get frustrated. I don't want to do it. And then I just want to move on to something else. So I completely understand exactly what he's talking about there.
The only thing I want that I can't afford would probably be a studio. If you want to go by like the 30% rule, yeah, I can afford it. I like my rent to be at a number where it doesn't actually matter to me each month.
Yeah, you know what? That's another thing I completely agree with. I gotta say, having a housing payment that you don't have to worry about, that you're not stressed about every month, just makes everything so much easier. And just being able to live below your means and have such a surplus every single month really takes a lot of the pressure off. So I could see why he is so happy doing what he's doing, why he doesn't change that up. And I think just for the peace of mind of him spending so little is gonna be worth it just for his own mental sanity.
I feel like I'm sort of retired now. Like I just do what I want and I like enjoy my life. There's a real joy in like making money when you feel like you've earned it. I'm still super happy when I see someone's paid me. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm like worth something.
You know what? I gotta say, I wish this episode were a lot longer. It's only 5 minutes and 26 seconds. It's not long enough. I want them to do a follow-up on this guy and see where he is now. Like almost a year and a half later. I'd be super curious to see because overall I think he's doing a lot right. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's saving enough money. He's got his priorities straight. He's doing what he likes. And honestly, from this, I see absolutely no problem. So from my perspective, I mean, there's very little that I could critique about this. There's very little I could criticize about this. He's doing everything right. So really, I would just say he's a good example of what to look up to and what someone who's doing it right is doing. Someone who's doing it right is doing. I don't know if that works or not, but you get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, it's a good episode of Millennial Money. We need episodes like this to be way longer, and we need more episodes of Millennial Money. So with that said, you guys, if there are any other videos you want me to react to or you want me to watch and see, just post the links to those videos down below and I'll go through later and just check out some of the other videos. And if it's a good video, I will react to it over the coming few weeks. So anyway, with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Feel free to add me on Instagram. I post there pretty much daily, so if you want to be a part of it there, feel free to add me there. And lastly, if you guys want 2 free stocks, use the link down below in the description, and Webull is going to be giving you 2 free stocks when you deposit $100 in the platform. One of those stocks is going to be valued up to $1,400. So if you want a chance to get a stock worth up to potentially a lot of money, feel free to use that link down below and let me know what 2 free stocks you get. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.